In this video, I'm going to solve sample paper class 10 mathematics for the year or the session 2024-25, the standard mathematics paper with code 041. Now, before we solve some questions here, all questions, in fact, let's say if I talk about the general instructions that you should know or might be knowing already, that this paper comprises of 38 questions with the sections labeled as A, B, C, D, E. Well, the first question 1 to 18 are MCQs, and question 19 and 20, these are assertion and reason based. So we'll have two assertion reason based questions. Section B has 21 to 25, that is 5 questions of 2 marks each. Section C from question number 26 to 31, right? So there are what six of them. These are 3 markers. Then section D will have 5 marker question. 4 of them are there. Section E, which is a case-based questions, they are 3 of them, and these are with subparts as 1 and 2 marks. And then we have some other things given here, that we have internal choices between the questions here. Then we should take the value of pi as 22 upon 7 and no calculator is allowed. Let's begin. In the first question, it says the graph of a quadratic polynomial px passes through these points, and we have to find the zeros of the polynomial. So let's figure out about a quadratic polynomial. What you know, that the graph of a quadratic polynomial is what? It is a parabola, right? So it's a parabola. And you know that the point where it touches the x-axis, like this point and this point, these are the zeros here. So the x coordinate of these points are the zeros of this polynomial. Well, it can have maximum 2 zeros, as you know that quadratic polynomial as of now has 2 zeros. At this point, it has no zeros, sorry, 1 zeros. And here it has no zeros. So the number of times it touches the x-axis. Now let's start locating these points given here. So this lies on the x-axis and maybe lying somewhere here, -6, 0. This lies on the y-axis. As I said, it is the x coordinate of the point which lies on the x-axis. Now, same way, this is not lying on the x-axis and this lies on the x-axis. So we can say that the zeros of the polynomial is number 1 -6 and other is 6. So therefore, the option D should be correct in this case. In question number 2, it says the value of k for which the system of equation, we are given two system of equation, that is linear equation, is inconsistent. So before we figure out the answer here, let's talk about this thing, the flow chart. What do we know, that when the linear equation written in this form, it is consistent or can be inconsistent. Now, what is consistent here means that when it has some solution, maybe a unique solution or infinitely many solution, and it says inconsistent when it has no solution. Now, for a function, for a system of equation to be no solution, the condition is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2, and it is not equal to c1 upon c2. Now, keeping this thing in mind, if I solve this equation, we'll say that for no solution, or that is inconsistent, it should be what? a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is not equal to c1 upon c2. So what is a1? That is by coefficient of x. So this is 3. a1 upon a2, that is 6. What is b1, which is minus k, must be taken along with the sign. This is b2 here, and c1 is 7. Now, keeping in mind that both constant terms should be on the same side. So it is 7 over 3. This is not equal to. Now, if I do cross multiplication in this case, these two, we can get the value of k here. So that is what we have to do. We can reduce it before finding its cross multiplication. So we say that it is -2 times k is equal to 10, or we can say that k is equal to -10 over 2. So that comes out to be -5. So we'll declare -5, which is option B here, as the correct answer for this. In question number 3 says which of the following statement is not true, and this is in question number 3, which is from the circle. We have to find the statement which is not true. Now let's say if you read the first one, it says a number of seconds can be drawn at any point on the circle. So secant is what? Is a line drawn. It's a line touching the circle at 2 points. So we'll say that. Now coming to the next, it says only one tangent can be drawn at a point on a circle. Yes. So we know that as the tangent has one point of contact here. The next one is the chord of a chord is a line segment joining any 2 points on the circle. That is also true. We know that taking any 2 point on the circle, let's say, if I take these two any point, so chord is drawn by joining these 2 point only. The next statement, that is the last one, it says that so these are correct, right? We are looking for the incorrect statement over here. It says from a point inside a circle, only two tangents can be drawn. So looking into this, we know that by taking any point on this circle, we cannot draw a tangent. We cannot draw even a single tangent because a tangent is drawn from an exterior point and that touches the circle at one point. So therefore, we'll say that the incorrect statement will be this. So we have to choose the incorrect statement. So the incorrect statement is D. Therefore, the D is the correct option, not a correct statement. In question number 4, it says if nth term of an AP is this, then the common difference of the AP is what? Now we have nth term given, that is say an is what is equal to a plus n minus 1d. Now over here the nth term is given as 7n minus 4. So what we can do, replacing n with 1 here, we can get the first term. In this equation, I replaced wherever there was n, I replaced with 1. So I got the first term, which is 7 minus 4, which is equal to 3. Same way, we can get the second term by replacing the n with 2 here. So replacing n, one more time, I'm replacing n here with 1, 2, and 3. So on replacing n with 2 here, we get 14 minus 4, which is 10. And same way, by replacing n with 3 here, what we'll get? 21 minus 4, right? So this is 17. So check here. We got the first term as 3. We got the second term as 10. We got the third term as 17. So clearly it's an AP with a common difference as 10 minus 3, which is equal to 7. So we'll say that option A is correct in this case. The next question from the chapter surface area volume. It says the radius of the base of a right circular cone and radius of a sphere each is 5 centimeter in length. So let's say if I make one cone first, say I'm going to make one cone here. So this is one cone and we are given a sphere. So these are the two figures given over here. And we are given that radius of this is 5 and the radius of this also is 5. What we have to determine, let's figure out. It says if the volume of the cone is equal to the volume of the sphere, then the height of the cone. That means we have to get the height of the cone. So for that, what we are going to do is to obtain, first of all, we know the radius here and we have to determine the height here. The height here by default has to be the vertical height and not the slant height. So what is given? Can we say that the volume of the cone is equal to the volume of sphere? And we can replace the volume of cone with the formula as 1 by 3 pi r square h. And for the sphere, it is 4 over 3 pi r cube. You see, I'm using the same symbol for r, reason being they are equal. Otherwise, we should have used different symbol. Now, what you can figure out that here 3 and 3 can be cancelled, pi and pi can be cancelled, and whole r square will get cancelled with a cube. So we'll be left with 1r over here. So finally, you can say this h is equal to 4r, and replacing this 4, replacing the r with its value, that is 5, we can get the height of this as 20. The unit should be the same, that is 20 centimeter. So the final answer for this will be option B. In question number 6, which is from the trigonometric introduction to trigonometry, we are given if tan theta is equal to 5 by 4, we have to get the values of this. Now check here, we know the relation between uh, say the tan theta, right? So tan theta is what? Tan theta is equal to sine theta over cos theta. So we are going to use this relation here. So what I can do is that if I divide this numerator and denominator by sine theta, we will, sorry, cos theta, right? Because sine over cos is tan. So if I divide the numerator and denominator, so what we are going to get 4 times sine theta over cos theta plus this is cos theta over cos theta, and below again dividing this also by cos, this is 4 sine theta over cos theta, and we have a minus, so this is cos here, dividing this cos by cos. So what you can figure out that here cos and cos get cancelled, this and this get cancelled. So we are left with this. This is 4 times sine over cos. As I said, sine over cos is tan. So we can write tan over here. So replacing sine over cos with tan, it is 4 times tan theta plus 1. Below it is 4 times tan theta minus 1. Now what is tan theta value is 5 by 4. So I'm going to 5 by 2. So I'm going to replace this tan theta with its value, that is 5 over 2, which is 5 over 2 plus 1. Below it is 4 times 5 over 2 minus 1. Now here, if I reduce, this is by 2 times and this also by 2 times. So in the numerator, what do we have? We have 5 into 2, 10 plus 1, that is 11. And this is 10 plus 1, 11. And this is how much? 10 minus 1, that is 9. So it is 11 over 9. That is option A is correct in this case. The question number 7 says that in the given figure, tangent has been drawn, right? A tangent has been drawn at point P. So P is the point of contact here. What else? We know that yeah, with the center O and the angle TPQ is given as 110. So let's figure out that we are given this angle, that is, yes, they are given this angle, right? This angle is given as how much? Yeah, this angle is given as 110. And what we know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So that means we can say that this angle, right? This angle is 90 degree. So if this is radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact, this whole is 110 and this much is 90 degrees. So we can find this angle. That means I'm talking about this angle. Let me show you. We're talking about this. We can find this angle, right? So it should be how much? Let me write down the name of the angle here. That is, this is angle OPQ. Will give you how much? It should be 110 minus 90. Am I right? Yeah, that's 110 minus 90. This is equal to 20 degree. Now check here in this triangle, we are given this as an, I'm talking about this triangle. Look into this. So in this triangle, what you can say that the radii are equal, right? Radius of plural is radii. So here we can say that this triangle OP is equal to OQ. So therefore, their opposite angles should also be equal. So we can say that this angle and these two angles will be equal. That means 20 each. These two angles will be 20. Now we can apply angle sum property to get the remaining angle. So I can say that angle POQ is what? POQ plus 20 is equal to 180 degree. That's right. So this is coming as POQ is equal to 180 minus 40. So it is 180 minus 40 is 140. So we'll say that option C is correct in this case. Here it says a quadratic polynomial having zeros as this. So what we know that we have a standard formula. We have two ways to solve this question. Either we can find the zeros of all of them and see the correct option. Or the second one is to frame our quadratic polynomial or polynomial using these zeros. So what we know that a quadratic polynomial is what k bracket, the standard formula is k times x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus the product of the zeros. Now this is k only. This is x square minus what is the sum of these two? As you can see, the same number with opposite sign should be 0. And the product of these two, root x is into root x is x. So we can say it is minus sign is there, right? So it is minus 5 over 2. Now, if I simplify it further, you can see that is 2 times x square minus 5 over 2, or I've taken the LCM as. So this is equal to k. Now, if I compare this with the options given here, you may see that it does not match with any of the option. But at least we can figure out that these two cannot be the correct option, as we have only two terms here only. Now, for obtaining the correct answer, what you need to see that to check whether this is the second option is correct is not, we have to make it 20, right? Or maybe this has 8. So we'll have to multiply by what? 4. Now check here, what should be the value of k by 2? K by 2, if I replace with 16, so what we get 4. Now replacing k by 2, or if you are getting confused, you can think about it with multiplying this with some numbers, like say if I multiply this by 4, we are getting what? This is getting 8x square. Multiplying this by 4, 4 into 2 is 8, 8x square minus 20. But this we cannot get. Even if I multiply by 3, we are not getting this. So therefore, the correct option will be this. That is option B is correct in this case. The next question here is to find, that's from the chapter statistics. That's question number 9. It says, consider the frequency of 45 observations, right? Consider the frequency distribution of 45 observations. Okay, the total number of observation is 45, right? The upper limit of the median class. Now, what we need to do that in order to find its median class, what you know here is n, right? So we know n is equal to 45. That's given here. Now, in order to find the median class, we should know the cumulative frequency. So if I find the cumulative frequency, it's going to be what? 5. 5 plus 9, 14. 14 plus 9, 15 is how much? 29. 29 plus 10 is what? 39. And 39 plus 6 is 45. Now we know that if I have to, in order to find the median class, we need the value of n by 2, that is half of 2, which is half of 45, which is 22.5. Now check where does 22.5 lies. It should lie over here, right? From the cumulative frequency, right? You just need to observe the cumulative frequency. From here, we can observe that 22.5 lies on this class. And now we have to find its upper limit. The upper limit has to be this. This being the lower limit, upper limit is 30. So we can say that the answer for this is 30. The upper limit of the median class having n number of observations, n as 45. In question number 10, it says O is the point of intersection of AB and CD of a circle. The figure is given over here. And for the angle BOC is given. This angle BOC is mentioned as 80 degree. We have OA is equal to OD. So let me write down, show in the diagram. Information that we have is number 1. We are given this angle as 80 degree. We are given OA. Where is OA? OA is equal to OD. These two are given equal. OA is equal to OD. And then we have to figure out that these two triangles are what? Equilateral similar, isosceles but not similar, or not similar. Now, what do we know that angle in the same segment are equal, right? From the AC segment, you can see that these two angles would be equal. And same way, you have studied in class 9, that is from angle in the same segment. So these two angles are equal. So one thing is very clear now, that these two triangles are similar, right? We can say here the reason for these two triangles is similar is AA, that is AA similarity. We can say that triangle this is similar to this triangle. And the reason, as I said, from AA similarity criteria. Now, similar is confirmed. Now, let's figure out, is it an isosceles? It has to be, right? As you can see here, two sides are given equal over here. Here, these two sides are equal, and using the when two triangles are similar, then their corresponding sides are proportional. So therefore, OB is also equal to OP is equal to OC. So we can say these two triangles are similar as well as isosceles. So we can say the correct option will be option B in this case. Question number 11, sorry, is from the quadratic equation. It says the roots of this quadratic equation are, is it irrational distinct, not real, rational distinct, or real and equal roots? So what we know that is the value of D, which is called discriminant, that decides. Now, D can have three possible values. Either it can be equal to 0, greater than 0, or less than 0. Now say when it is greater than, say, equal to 0, we say it's a real and equal. When it is greater than 0, it's a real and distinct. And this, when it is less than 0, we say it's no real root, right? But then we cannot see the options. Let's say, for example, if I find the value of D over here, we can say D is what? D is B square minus 4AC. So replacing B here, which is 1, as you know, in the standard form, if this equation is written, it is AX square plus BX plus C. So you can compare their coefficient, and we can say B is 1. So it's 1 square minus 4 times A, which is 1 again, and C, which is minus 1. So we get D as what? 1, and minus 4 into minus 1 is plus 4. So that means D is 5. So as of now, we can say that it has a real and this is real and distinct root, but that is not an option. Now, how do we determine that which should be correct? There is a further, you can figure out that if under root D here, right, if it is rational, then we say it's rational and distinct. And if it is under root D is irrational, then it is irrational and distinct. Right. For example, as of now, we got under root D as what? This is equal to under root 5, which is irrational, right? Had it been under root 25, which is equal to 5, then we would have said rational. That means it is the value of D. If D is rational, it is rational and distinct. And if D is discriminant, is irrational, it is irrational and distinct. So we can see that it is irrational. As you can see that root 5 is an irrational. So it is irrational and distinct should be the correct answer. In question number 12 from trigonometric introduction of trigonometry chapter, it says that tan theta, sorry, theta is equal to 30 degree. We have to find the value of 3 times tan theta. So what we know that the value of tan 30 is what? I replace theta here, right? I'm replacing because theta is 30 degree, or we can do it directly, right? We have to get the value of 3 times tan theta. So 3 multiplied by tan theta, and theta being replaced with 30 degrees. So this is 3 times, and tan 30 is what? Tan 30 is 1 over root 3. So we can say it is 3 over root 3. We can rationalize it, but then I can see that the answer is given over here only. So we can say that this is the correct option. But if this were not the option, then we should have rationalized it. That means multiplying, dividing by root 3 should have given you root. This is what? On simplifying, you'll get 3 times root 3 over root 3 into root 3, which is 3. So in some cases, if this is not an option, and if this be the option, you'll say that it is correct, root 3. The next question from the chapter surface area volume, it says the volume of a solid hemisphere is 396 over 7 centimeter cube. We have to find the total surface area of the solid. So let's say you know that what is a hemisphere? This is half of a sphere, right? So half of a sphere is hemisphere. Let's see if I erase this part. So this is a hemisphere. And what do we know? We know its volume. Volume is the quantity of matter, which is the space here, right? So formula for the volume of a hemisphere is what? 4 by 3 pi r cube. No, it's 2 by 3. For a hemisphere, it is 2 over 3 pi r cube, and which is given as 396. Given here, 396 over 7. Now what I can do, if I replace the value of pi, and what we have to find its total surface area. So replacing pi with 22 upon 7 and transposing these values to the other side. Let's check. First of all, I'm reducing this. 7 gets cancelled. So now this is 396 multiplied by 3. This will get multiplied here, and 2 and 22 will come below. Now I can see it's divisible. 11 2 times and 11 3 times is 33, 6 times. So 4 into 2 into 2, 4, and 4 9 times is 36. So we got r cube, right? We got r cube here. R cube is 27. That implies r is 3 centimeter. Now, once we get this radius, we have to find its total surface area. That means even including this portion, this is also included here. Now, to find the total surface area, we have a formula, that is total surface area is 3 pi r square. Is it? Yeah, it should be 2 pi r square plus pi r square. So this is 3 times replacing pi with 22 upon 7, and r square, r is how much? R is 3. So it's 3 into 3. So that comes out to be 3 into 3, 9. 9 into 3 is 27, and 27, 54. So if I multiply 27 with 22, so we are getting this as 594. 594 divided by 7 centimeters square. So I can see the correct option is there. That is option B is there. The next question number 14 is from the chapter probability. It says a bag contains total of 24 balls. 4 of them is blue, 11 red, and the rest are white. So one ball is drawn at random, and what we have to determine is the probability of getting the white ball. So you can count the total balls is 24, and there are blue balls, there are green balls, right? And there are, we have green balls, and then the remaining are white balls. White is not visible. That's okay. I can make it like this. So what you can figure out that the number of total ball is, let's first find out blue balls. So the blue balls are 4 in numbers. The greens are 11 in number. And white is what? That will be total are 24. So that is 24 minus 4 plus 11. That is 24 minus 15. Right? Am I right? Yeah. 24 minus 15, which is 9. So there are 9 white balls. And we have to find the probability for the white ball. As you know, the probability is the number of favorable observation divided by total number of observations, or number of favorable items divided by total number of items. So if I reduce, this is divisible by 3, 3 times, 3 8 times. So it comes out to be 3 by 8. So what you can figure out that we have a correct option here, that is 3 by 8, which is option B. The question number 5 from the chapter coordinate geometry says the point on the x-axis which is nearest to this point. Now, let's say if I make a rough sketch of Cartesian plane over here, and we have to locate this point. This point, that is 4 minus 5, has to be in the fourth quadrant, right? Yeah, third quadrant, not fourth. It must be somewhere here. Let's say if I take this point, this is coordinate. Say I took this point as P over here, and its coordinate is -4, -5. So that means from here it's going to be -1, -2, -3, -4. And on this side, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. But then what we have to determine is the nearest point on x-axis. It's not the y, it has to be nearest from x-axis. So as you can see that from the nearest point from x-axis will be this. Let me the next question from the chapter coordinate geometry, that is question number 15. It says the point on the x-axis which is nearest to this point. So what we can do is to draw a Cartesian plane. Rough sketch will be fine here. And there is a point, and the point is -4, -1. Let's say this is -1, -2, -3, -4, and this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So what I can see that the point is going to be right, going to be somewhere here. So I'm taking this point here, and the point taken here is -4, -5. So we have to determine a point on the x-axis. So you can see that on the x-axis, if I look for the point from here, you can see that these are the different distances. And the shortest distance is this only, which is the perpendicular distance. So what is the coordinate of this point? Has to be -4, 0, as it lies on the x-axis. So therefore, the correct answer is going to be -4, 0. That is option B. The next question from the chapter statistics, it says which of the following gives the middlemost observation? So you must be knowing it is the median. Like if you recollect some informations from recollect what you have done in lower classes also, like if I arrange these numbers in the increasing order, like these are the observations assume, then the middlemost, cutting these, the middlemost is this. This is the median here. So we'll say that the middlemost observation is median. Range is what? Maximum minus minimum, and mode is the numbers which occurs the maximum number of times. I mean the observation which has the maximum frequency is called the mode, and mean is better known as average. So anyway, we have to get the middlemost observation, and it has to be the median. So therefore, A is the correct option in this case. Question 17 from the coordinate geometry. It says on the x-axis, a point is on the x-axis, divides the line segment joining these 2 points in the ratio 2:1. So we have to find that point. So I can take this point, let's say the point P. You know that any point on the x-axis is in the form of what? X comma 0. We know that any point on the x-axis is in the form of x comma 0, and that's why I took this point P as this. Now assume this to be x-axis, and this is not up to the scale. I'm just taking a rough sketch here, and let's say there is point B, which is 5 comma 6, and there is point P here somewhere, and its coordinate, as I said, it lies on the x-axis. That's why I took the coordinate as x comma 0, and it divides the line joining in the ratio. So I will take this as 1:2. So we are going to use the section formula for y here, not for x. We can get x only. Sorry, we'll get x. So using section formula, what you know that x is equal to m1 x2 plus m2. I need more space. So we know that x is equal to m1 x2 m1 x2 plus m2 x1 over m1 plus m2. Now we have to get x here. So m1 into x2, m1 x2 is what? 5 plus m2 x1. That is how much? 10 or 4. Sorry. This is m2 x1. That is 4 over m1 m2. That is 1 plus 2. That is 3. So we get what, 9 over 3. So clearly x is equal to 3. So replacing this x here with 3, we can get the required coordinate as 3 comma 0, right? And 3 comma 0 is option C. So we get this C as the correct option. The next question is says that the card drawn is from a well-suffered deck of playing cards. Now we have to find what? The probability. Next question from the chapter. The next question from the chapter probability said a card is drawn from a well-suffered deck of playing cards. The probability of getting a red face cards. So what we know that we have altogether how many face cards? We have four jack, four king, four queen. So that means altogether there are 12 face cards. And as you know that out of these 12 face cards, right, 6 of them is red and 6 is black. You can even figure out from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is a 6 cards, right? We have to get the probability. So the favorable observation or the favorable number of options is what? 6, right? From a deck, and deck comprises of 52 cards, right? So if I reduce by 2, this is 3 times and this by 26. So it's going to be 3 over 26. That is option D is correct. Now we are on the next question 19 and 20, which are based on assertion reasoning. And as I can see that options given are the same default options that you have been doing. Now I'll start with the first question here. That is question number 19. So what is given here, let's say if I just focus on the 19th part, the question says that HCF of any two consecutive even natural number is always 2. This is correct, right? Like you take any two even natural number, let's say if I take 4 and 14, so the highest common factor here, common factor is 2 over here, 1 and 2. And common factor for this is 1, 2, 7, and 14. So the common factor, highest common factor is 2. So the HCF of any two consecutive, okay, there's an even. Now these are, we have come to assertion reason questions where the options, as I can see, that they are the default options only. Now let's begin with the first question here. Now if I look into the first question of assertion reasoning, the question says that the assertion first, it says that HCF of, now we have come to the questions of assertion reasoning. And as I can see that the options over here are the default option only. Now, if I begin with the first part over here, let's say the first question, that is question number 19 here. Over here, the question says that the HCF of two consecutive even natural number is always 2. Now, that's correct. Like if you take any two consecutive even natural number like 16 and 18, so the highest common factor will be 2 only. Like in this case, you can see that there are factors like 1, 2, 14, 1, 2, 8, 16, and the factors of this is what? 1, 2, 3, 9, 18. The highest common factor is 2. Now, next is even natural number. The reason is even natural numbers are divisible by 2. As 2, it's divisible by 2, but that does not define or explain that why the HCF of two consecutive natural number is 2. So I can say both of them are correct, and but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion, so it's going to be option B in this case. Now the next assertion reasoning, that is question 20, says that if the radius of the sector of a circle is reduced to half and the angle is doubled, then the perimeter of the sector remains same. So let's say if I make a circle, I made one bigger one, and I'm taking a circle, let's say a bit smaller. As you can see, the radius is halved. Now we can say that I'm taking a circle with radius as this, and the other circle with the radius as this. Now, the radius of this is half of this. So what you can do, either you take this as r, this will be r over 2, same r over 2, or I can take this as r, this is 2r. Now, this be the angle, what you can see that the angle is doubled, like the angle is doubled over here. So what I'm doing, I'm taking this as theta. So this is going to be 2 times theta. Now we have to deal with the perimeter, and as you know that perimeter is what? The boundary of this sector. So the perimeter, let me show you that the perimeter in this case is going to be what? These boundary in this case, and so will be over here. That means we need the length of the arc. So let's say if I get the length of the arc in the first case, I'll use L1 here. So length of the arc is what? Length is what? Theta over 360 into 2 pi r, and r is here 2r, so I'll be writing 2r here. And if I find the length of arc of this circle, that is this one, say L2, then is what? It is theta, which is 2 theta here, over 360 into 2 pi r, where r is r in this case. Now the next thing that we to do is to find the perimeter, and perimeter is what? The boundary of this circle, as you can see, this is this plus the length of the arc, that is this one. So I can get the perimeter. I should do it here. So perimeter of the first figure is going to be 2r plus 2r plus this, which is in the reduced form. I can reduce it, right? This will be 90. 9 times is, yeah, that's correct. So I'm getting is what? Pi theta r over 90. Now, if I find the perimeter of the other circle is going to, other sector is going to be r plus this again on reducing, it's getting times what? 9 times. So this is pi theta r by 90. It's very easy to figure out from here, as we don't have to show the actual working that these are same, but these are not same, right? This is 4r over here, and this is 2r. But they are saying that the perimeter will be same in this case. So we'll say that the assertion is wrong. Let's figure out for the reason it must be incorrect as for the standard option. The length of the arc subtend an angle theta at the center, then the radius of the circle, is it the radius? R is equal to pi r theta over. One more time, the length of the arc of radius. So there is an equal to sign. Okay. So the length of the arc is what? We know it's theta over 360 into 2 pi r, right? So if I reduce it, it's 180. So it comes out to be pi r theta over 180, right? There's a printing error over here. So we can say that they're saying that length of the arc. So the length of the arc is pi r theta over 180 degree. And therefore I can say the reason is correct, but the assertion is wrong. So the remaining questions, I'll solve it in the next video.